Under the surface, a day in the life of Kontoo Industries HQ employee, Dr. Gabriel Novak. The faint chime of his tablet's alarm echoed in the compact confines of Dr. Gabriel Novak's living quarters, signaling the start of another day deep within underground level 2. The room was little more than a cube of concrete, outfitted with a bed, desk, and a narrow bathroom, functional, minimalist, and as bare as everything else on this level. The artificial light in his room gradually brightened, simulating sunrise in a place where the sun never reached. Gabriel stretched, letting the hum of ventilation systems serve as his morning soundtrack. By 6 a.m., Gabriel was dressed in the standard gray jumpsuit worn by Level 2 personnel and had made his way to the communal dining area. He joined a small group of colleagues at one of the steel tables, their subdued chatter focused on the latest test results and simulation feedback. Over a plate of eggs and toast, he shared a quiet laugh with the technician recounting a comical error during yesterday's experiments, a rare moment of levity in their high-pressure environment. At 6:30 a.m., Gabriel headed to his lab, passing through multiple secure checkpoints that marked the transition between living spaces and the research areas. The bulk of his day would revolve around the neural interface of a prototype delivery drone, designed for precision deployment of classified bioweapons. His role wasn't to build the drones but to test and refine the AI protocols that governed their movements. He set down his tablet on the workbench and began his meticulous calibration, using the tablet's touch controls to fine-tune the interface. The drone, a sleek and menacing construct of carbon fiber and steel, rested motionless under the lab's harsh fluorescent lights. The lab's reinforced walls offered perfect insulation from outside distractions, but they also had an oppressive quality. Gabriel occasionally caught himself glancing at the heavy doors, half expecting the sudden hiss of a lockdown. He forced the thought away and refocused on his work. The steady rhythm of his work was interrupted just before noon by an alert. A malfunction had been detected in a containment chamber within the biological weapons storage area. Gabriel's pulse quickened as he donned protective gear and made his way to the site, accompanied by a technician. The path to the biological weapons storage area led them to an immense blast door, a towering monolith of reinforced steel and composite materials. Measuring 20 feet high and 5 feet thick, the door loomed like a sentinel of secrecy, its dull gray surface lit by the faint glow of status indicators. Positioned on either side of the door were 2 raised platforms, each accessible via a narrow set of stairs. It was here that the door's dual authorization system would be activated. 2 guards were already stationed near the platforms, each ready to perform their role in opening the blast door. Gabriel and the technician stood back, observing the process. The guards ascended their respective platforms in near unison, each logging in with their access cards before leaning in for biometric verification. The system required synchronization, both individuals had to initiate the unlocking sequence within seconds of each other. Authorization confirmed, announced the calm mechanical voice as the hydraulics roared to life. The hum of interlocking bolts retracting was felt more than heard, reverberating through the floor. Slowly, the blast door began to swing open, its immense weight groaning against the powerful mechanisms. Gabriel always felt a slight twinge of awe watching the process. This was security in its most tangible form. Beyond the door lay the biological weapons storage area, a pristine and sterile chamber lined with rows of climate-controlled containment units. Each unit was a testament to precision engineering, housing an array of engineered pathogens in isolated environments monitored by biosensors. The air was cool and faintly pressurized, a subtle reminder of the countless safeguards keeping the area secure. The malfunction alert pointed them to one of the mid-level units halfway down the chamber. Its status indicator pulsed yellow, signaling an issue with internal pressure. Gabriel worked methodically with the technician, recalibrating the seals and monitoring the biosensors for stability. Their protective gloves made the process slower, but there was no room for shortcuts, not here. After 20 tense minutes, the issue was resolved, the unit's status light shifting back to a reassuring green. Gabriel documented the incident thoroughly on his tablet, glancing back at the towering blast door as they exited the chamber. As the door reset itself with the deep, resonant hum of hydraulic locks re-engaging, he felt the same mix of relief and unease he always did after working in this area. The stakes here were absolute, there was no margin for error. Lunch back in the communal dining area felt almost surreal after the intensity of the storage area. Gabriel joined a few colleagues over trays of reheated stew, the earlier incident briefly discussed before conversation shifted to lighter topics. Even underground, humanity persisted, finding moments of humor and connection amidst the high-stakes work. The afternoon brought more focused work in Gabriel's lab. The drone's AI performed better in simulations, its neural interface responding smoothly to complex commands. Yet Gabriel's mind occasionally wandered back to the rows of containment units behind the blast door, a stark reminder of the responsibility they all carried. At 6 p.m., his shift officially ended, but Gabriel remained at his station, running additional tests. Perfection wasn't just encouraged here, it was survival. He finally left the lab at 8 p.m., walking the now quiet corridors toward the residential area. His route passed by several of the weapons storage zones, each marked by identical blast doors, their imposing presence a constant in the labyrinthine structure of underground level 2. Exiting the work zones, Gabriel walked back to the living quarters, scanning his badge to enter the residential area. He stopped by the fitness space for a quick workout, nothing intense, just enough to shake off the physical stiffness that came with hours of focus. The hum of treadmills and the clink of weights filled the room, where a few other personnel worked in focused silence. Back in his room, Gabriel shed his jumpsuit and grabbed a quick shower. The silence of his quarters felt almost oppressive, yet he found solace in small routines, reheating a pre-packaged meal, catching up on research updates, journaling his thoughts, and a little bit of doom scrolling through social media. By the time the lights dimmed to simulate night, Gabriel lay in bed, staring at the concrete ceiling above him. The faint hum of the facility's ventilation systems was a reminder that while the world above moved on, life here continued under layers of steel and secrecy.